Friends, hello everyone. Today, we will sew such a wonderful denim top. Work as always, I will use a pattern from our sewing school. Print the pattern, check the control square, glue the sheets and cut out the required size. The back is designed for a zipper, but you and I will do the lacing. Therefore, we remove 4 centimeters at the top and 3 centimeters at the bottom. And we cut off this unnecessary section. For work, I took ready-made jeans. This natural cotton fabric has absolutely no stretch. It is medium density. The jeans have these factory seams, and we will definitely use them. On the back parts, we mark seam allowances of 1 centimeter. Cut off the allowance on one of the parts and glue them together. And we get one back piece. I want to use this factory seam. Divide the back piece in half. And lay it out so that the seam runs along the intended line. Also the side part of the front. Divide in half, and we will also have a seam here. The central part in front of the cut, observing the lober with a fold. I transferred the outline of the part to one leg, cut it out in one layer. In order to make a mirrored second piece, I take the second leg. And attach the finished part so that the seams and even stitches match exactly. Trace and cut out. The back is ready. We do the same with the pattern pieces. Cut one piece first. Transfer it in mirror image to the other leg and cut. The pattern is ready. Please note that I cut the central part in 2 copies. I glue the central front part of the front with loose duplerin. Ready. Fold right sides inward. Connect the top seam with needles. Sew with an allowance of 1 centimeter. Make notches. Unfold and sew the seam allowance to the wrong side at a distance of 1 millimeter from the seam. Cut off the seam allowance. We will make the cutout edge on the wrong side. Sweep by hand. Along the front side, we will lay 2 decorative lines. I moved all the lines. I fixed the cuts with needles. And also put needles where we will lay decorative stitches. Sew along the lines. Front detail ironed. Now let's take the rope. Wrap a small piece of tape around the end of the rope. This will help us secure the pin. Thread the rope inside. And we get a beautiful convex decorative element. We connect the cut of the central part with needles. And then connect it to the side part of the front, aligning all the marks. We also connect the parts along the side seam. Please note that all seam allowances are turned to the right side. Sew with an allowance of 1 centimeter. This factory seam needs to be unraveled to apply. If you don't know how to quickly unravel seams like this, I'll show you. You need to hook the loop and pull the thread like this. Unravel the seams and cut the ribbons 3 centimeters wide. This is how I will distribute them at the allowances. And now we will sew on top to the seam allowance so as to close the stitching seam. Also close the side seam. This is what it looks like. Trim the allowance leaving 1/2 centimeter. Let's sweep it manually like this. Cut off the excess tape. And this is how we will now sew. We do the same with this seam, trim it leaving a 5 mm allowance. Also wrap and wash. And then sew along the edge. In this simple way, we transfer the factory stitching to the topic. Let's move on to lacing. On the wrong side of the back, mark an allowance of 1 centimeter. Step back 7 millimeters from the top down. And also here 7 millimeters. Measure the distance between these points and divide it by the number of loops. I get 8 loops with a distance of 18 centimeters. Take a corset cord and make pieces 4 centimeters long. I make 16 pieces. To prevent the cord from fraying, lightly heat the ends. We lay one end of the cord aligned with the cut and the mark. I hold it with a needle so it doesn't move. We reach the mark, bend the second end of the segment. Hold. The next loop was also fixed and stitched. Reach the mark, sew the second end. And so on. Ready. Let's make a line at a distance of 3 millimeters. Straighten the loops under the foot. And for reliability, let's add one more line. Now we take our blank and put it on top, closing all the seams. Stitch along the edge. Do not cut off the allowance, wrap it and sew it. Cut off excess tape. Turn it over to the front side. And wrapping it up like this, we'll lay a line on top of the previous one. And now a line around the edge. Ready. Find the share on the fabric. And at an angle of 45 degrees, cut strips 4 centimeters wide. To sew ribbons together. Attach the triangle to the tape like this, drawing an angle of 45 degrees. Cut off. On the second tape, we make the same cut. Be sure to check the direction of the fabric. Attach a triangle to one side. Mark the 45 degrees angle and cut it off. Fold the ribbons face to face. The seam allowance here is 5 millimeters. Sewing. Iron the seam and cut off the seam allowance, leaving 2 millimeters. Our feed is ready. Try to sew the tape so that the seams of the connection are not in the most visible place. Apply the tape to the top edge and sew to the width of the foot. Leave the strap length about 38 centimeters. Leave 1 centimeter of tape. Cut off any irregularities. Wrap the edge of the tape like this on the wrong side and baste. We reach the strap and fold its edges inward. And rinse. Stitch along the front side. We process the bottom cut in the same way with tape. Sew to the width of the foot. Trim the bottom line, leaving 1 centimeter of tape. Turn inside out. And baste. Same as top cut. Also add a line. Ready. This is such a wonderful topic we got. We check the length of the straps by trying them on and sew them on by hand. Friends, if this masterclass was useful to you, support my channel. Leave any comment under this video, like or subscribe to my channel. I wish you easy cutting and sewing. Yulia Chumakova was with you.